It took me years to understand, but the fear of failure I carry with me today was born inside my own home, not at school, not at work, not with friends. It started right there, in the place that was supposed to be my emotional safe space, the place where I should have felt free to make mistakes, to try, to learn, without fear of emotional punishment. For a long time, I thought my fear of failure was just part of my personality. I believed I was just perfectionist, insecure, anxious, and that it was simply who I was. But looking back, I now realize it all started with the small reactions from the adults around me. It was the looks of disappointment when I didn't get things right on the first try, the heavy sighs of impatience every time I made a silly mistake, the constant comparisons with other kids, the phrases like, "You're smarter than this," "I can't believe you did that again," "Your brother would have done better," and perhaps worst of all, were the moments of silence, the emotional distance, that feeling that I was only noticed when I did something right, that affection came when I succeeded, that pride was shown when I brought home good grades, when I behaved perfectly, when I stayed out of trouble. The problem is, a child who grows up afraid of making mistakes turns into an adult who's emotionally an adult who overthinks every simple decision, an adult who fears starting anything new, who would rather not try at all, just to avoid the risk of failing. And that's exactly what happened to me. I grew up with an internal pressure I couldn't explain, a perfectionism that, in reality, was just a shield protecting the scared child I used to be, the child who learned too early that mistakes meant disappointment, that errors drove love away, that failure triggered criticism, never comfort. And even though today I know rationally that making mistakes is part of the process, emotionally, the fear is still here. With every new project I start, every difficult conversation I need to have, every important decision, the first thing that appears is the fear of messing up. It took me years to realize this fear wasn't mine to begin with. It was built, it was planted, day after day, inside my own home. And the saddest part is knowing that, many times, my parents were simply repeating what they had experienced themselves. They too were taught that mistakes equal weakness, that only the best deserve recognition, that love comes after success. It's a cycle passed down from generation to generation, until someone decides to stop it, until someone decides to look inside and rewrite those beliefs. Today, with a lot of effort, I'm trying to do things differently. I'm trying to forgive myself for my mistakes, trying to welcome my failures, trying to remind myself every day that errors are part of growth, that learning comes with falling, that no real change happens without stumbling along the way. More than that, I am trying to be the kind of adult I wish I had when I was a child. Someone who says, it's okay to make mistakes. Someone who looks into my eyes and says, I love you, even when you fail. Someone who embraces, instead of pointing fingers. If you're listening to this and recognizing yourself in my story, know that you're not alone. Many of us grew up this way, scared of failing, scared of disappointing, scared of being less than what was expected. But the good news is that we can rewrite the story. We can learn to be kinder to ourselves, to see mistakes as steps along the journey, to create environments where love doesn't depend on performance, where affection isn't conditional on results. And most importantly, we can do things differently for the next generation. We can raise children who know they have value, even when they fail, who understand that mistakes aren't the end, but the beginning of learning something new. It took me years to understand, but now I know. The fear of failure I carry started inside my own home. But the power to change that is also in my hands. If this content touched you in any way, leave your like, write in the comments what you felt, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today.